All right, cool. We are back for live Q&A. Closing up, investors and consumers.
Yep.
We had a quick question come in here. So you said, I'm going to try to my best to kind of formulate this as we're
Okay.
talking through.
All right.
So you said your philosophy is to own nothing because
Yes.
whatever we own, we still
serve.
have to serve.
Yep.
But isn't ownership a better alternative than to debt? How can we not own anything if we want to avoid having to serve things? What does that look like?
Yeah, I think in terms of that, debt-free living is a big philosophy these days in terms of being debt-free. I don't consider being debt-free of anything that you have possession of.
Well, that can become the thing you serve.
Right.
You
can totally.
Anything can become.
Whether I make payments on a boat or have a boat is the same. I can serve the boat. If I make payments on a house or rent a house or whatever, I can serve the house. It's a possession thing. Ownership is much more a part of the mind than it is about the physical aspect of do you have a lien on something or a title with something. And so even for things that are mine, like I have a guitar. I have a beautiful Taylor guitar, right? I own a Taylor guitar. I have a nice Taylor guitar. But I early on, like I remember like having it up on stage and stuff, and I didn't want anybody to touch it, don't look at it, don't breathe at it, But that was because I had this tight grip of ownership on that thing. And it had to do with the fact that I needed to understand that was something that God blessed me with, and He can take it away, and He can use it however He wants to use it. That's what I mean by in terms of open-handed stewardship, not thinking through as owners, but really understanding what it means to be a steward. Yeah. And so I don't really think it's wrong if you own a house or but then again, it is my philosophy. I think a lot of times, even with whether if we were leasing this church or putting payments down this church, you can argue with me about the fiscal responsibility of it. At the end of the day, if this is something that I'm really free of, I will not serve it. So debt oftentimes causes us to serve things that we shouldn't serve.
Oh, and it makes
you want to be careful of that.
It can create a real unhealthy long-term situation too.
Yep.
Because, all right. So if you could have people who are listening who have watched week 1, why we give, week 2, why we don't give, and then today.
Yep.
What's the 1 or 2 things you want them to walk away with? If they leave with nothing else, what are the 2 big benchmarks?
2 big benchmarks is that it's a system. I think I've said that like 1,000 times this time.
Right.
But I think I want people to understand that this wasn't a crazy idea the church came up with, to somehow figure out how to give money to the church. Right. This is a system God created. And that system was for our benefit in terms of our individual followers of Christ's benefit to experience blessing. And I think the thing that I want people to know is you've tried to make that way more complicated than it actually is, because God is not obligated to give to you because you gave back to Him. Right. He is obligated to follow the system that He created because He wants to follow the system He created for you. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
There's an obligation. I believe God is obligated to follow the system He created because He created it with your good intent in mind. And so it's not a tit for tat thing. It's a thing where I want people to know it's a system. The second thing would just be today that stewardship's freedom. That the more they understand about stewardship, they are going to experience the freedom that God has.
Well, within that system, I think it's important to note, and it's what the whole series is built around. It's a binary system. It's a one or the other. There's not space in between. You're either an investor or a consumer, and if you don't know which one you are, just look at your behaviors and how you're acting, because it'll tell you. For you.
Yeah, it'll totally tell you. Thanks, man.
Okay, awesome. We'll see you guys next week for the start of series Am I Christian?
Am I Christian?
Easter Sunday.
Awesome.
Be there. See you guys then.